Hey guys, EJ here, and today I'm going to be doing a bit different of a video once again. I'm going to be talking about an artist I feel quite passionate about for a few reasons. Obviously, I'm a bit late to talking about this dude just because they've been releasing posthumous or post-death, I like to say, 'cause it's easier for my small brain, releases quite often. They recently said they put out a final album, but I'm talking about XXXTENTACIon. And why I think that he is one of the most influential artists of our generation, and one of the most disrespected artists of our generation. Now, obviously, he's pretty controversial. He has a rough past, did some bad things. We get that. A lot of these guys are not angels. I'm not sitting here to praise his past actions or any of that, or to deny it for that matter. I'm here to talk about the music, and why I think, as an artist, he's one of the greatest artists I think we've seen. And this is my personal take. He first blew up, I guess you could say, in around 2015, around that middle of the decade era, on SoundCloud, in the underground scene, with his more aggressive, more angry-sounding hardcore rap songs, like Look at Me, for example, the biggest one that came out of this era. And he quickly got a reputation for being a very aggressive, very angry-sounding dude. A lot of people wrote him off as having no substance. Understandably so. They hadn't heard this dude too much before. This is the first thing they get. It's no different than a lot of the reputation that a lot of the hardcore punk bands or thrash metal or any of these hardcore genres got. But he had something deeper than that. And he really made sure people knew that. And that's what I really liked about his music. In this album, this video is going to be centered around a specific album a little bit, but I'll go deeper into that later on. But after being known as this hardcore aggressive dude, he's just so angry all the time. He was like, I can make music too. I can make slow songs, and he would put out Revenge, which I think is one of his best songs to date. I think then later in 2017 he would release his debut studio album, 17. Which is very much more acoustic-based, very much more softer, I guess you could say. A very well put-together project. And I think it really blew people away. A lot of the lo-fi production, a lot of his more melodic singing and rapping, really took people by surprise. And I love that thing. That's not the album I'm centering this on, though, for one main reason. As much as I like 17, there was one thing it lacks, is the diversity and all the different aspects of his background. I feel like it's very much centered on the fact that he's proven a point that he can make good music. He has a deeper side to him. And I think he did a great job with that. He would, however, go on to, in my opinion, record better material. Which would eventually end up on his Question Mark album, which is the album I'm centering this around. Not that any of his old stuff is bad, but he would go on to make, in my opinion, one of the most influential, one of the most important and polarizing albums of the 2010s and really of all time. Being a guy who grew up from a background, all genres, really, considering where he grew up, he finally decided that he was going to tackle that all in one project. And he already hinted towards his more rock side on Ghetto Christmas Carol with the song Indecisions, which is also one of my personal favorite X songs. But he would kind of surprise people with the single Sad and Changes by throwing a curveball at them, by giving them, I guess, a bit more conventional sad boy rap song and a more piano-driven ballad, per se. Definitely not what I think people were expecting after a more acoustic 17. And when this album came out, I remember it being a big hit. It was polarizing, though. A lot of the critics weren't sure how to feel. A lot of them, on average, they gave it around a 5 out of 10 because people were just so hung up on if they should support this guy, if he should. And the thing that sucks for me is that he was trying to turn his life around. He was. And this album shows. Not only is this album very personal, but the track list is extremely solid. He makes all these songs from different genres flow together so fluidly and effortlessly Yeah, you know what I mean. That it's just impressive to me how this album works. I've seen so many other artists do similar things, try to merge all these genres, a song here, a song here, a song here, maybe a rock one, maybe a rap one, maybe a pop one, maybe an acoustic one. And it just sounds like a jumbled mess. This sounds like a complete project put together by an artist. Now, unfortunately, we all know what, and I do think this is one of the best albums I've heard come out in my, my generation, I guess you could say, but we all know, unfortunately, he would end up being fatally shot and killed. And obviously, wouldn't be making music anymore. And but his label, this is where I'm getting a little more annoyed. The people that are in control of his music, his estate, have squandered his reputation, have ruined any hope of another good X project, have completely they're a complete disgrace to him. To be completely honest, first they gave us Skins, incomplete project, an overly produced project, but a very incomplete project. It's just sitting under 20 minutes. Now, this is 18 songs long, but is only 37 or 38 minutes long. That's not long, but it's at least a respectable album length. It's at least a complete project. Skins is only 10 songs long, is less than 20 minutes long, and half the songs feel like unfinished demos that were just piled on with a whole bunch of fancy production to make it sound like a complete song. I will say that X did get around to working on a good amount of these tracks already, so right off the bat, they kind of did have the upper hand here. Like, there's not much anybody could do about that. But at the end of the day, they left it to the hands of the people that were in control of the rights of this music, and they put together a mediocre project. And right off the bat, I was like, well, this is bad. I really hope that they don't do this again. But oh my god, did it get worse. In 2019, they put out Bad Vibes Forever, his final studio album, thank God. But I will say, this is one of the most disgraceful albums I've really ever heard. One of the most disappointing albums I've ever heard. And one of the most, just genuinely, why does this exist albums. They label it a studio album, but it's in reality a collection of demos that he recorded, like, on his phone while he was, like, on a toilet or something. That's what it sounds like. All of these songs are really, like, his parts are so low-quality recorded because they were demos. He barely had any input. This was released more than a year after he died, and it's labeled as a studio album. And the songs that do sound more complete only sound complete because they grabbed a random feature to finish the song. Like the Blink-182 song. Why does that exist? His part's so low quality, it wasn't even finished. He would not want that released. He would never have wanted that released. Or songs like Heart Eater, which are just an outtake from the Question Mark sessions. Or you could look at a song like, the School Shooter song with Lil Wayne, where Lil Wayne does all the work pretty much. It's just, I'm sorry. This Bad Vibes Forever is a disgrace to XXXTENTACION. It's a disgrace to any artist that's passed away. And these features he probably wouldn't even want on here. And a lot of them simply aren't good. It's a disgrace to him. It's a disgrace to any artist who's dead. It's a disappointing album. So yeah, there's a quick little video. The overall message here is that XXXTentacion was a great artist. No matter what you think of him as a person, he had great ideas. And I think that those ideas accumulated very well on his big studio effort on the Question Mark album. But his team really didn't do him justice after he died. And this goes out to him, his team. This goes out to like Lil Peep's team, Juice WRLD's team. Take notes. Take notes here. XXXTentacion's team did a horrible job. Take notes and don't repeat it.